this Wednesday night than you were last Wednesday
son,
night? Because last Wednesday night you was not prepared to be on the show. Are you prepared tonight? Can you tell us anything tonight?
Well, I mean,
are you going to bring any knowledge?
Are you trying to tell me that you were prepared?
I was prepared. For you.
Wow.
I was prepared.
Well, I don't see your bracket filled out.
I don't have no bracket. That's in my brain.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know who's playing.
Texas Southern playing?
I don't have any idea. I'm going to take Texas Southern, though. It don't really matter.
Well,
hey, it starts. Well, it's already started officially.
But really tomorrow at lunch.
Tomorrow at lunch it really starts. Basketball
16 games tomorrow?
Yes, that's correct, I think.
Like 16 tomorrow and 16 Friday, and then...
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be, this week will be a full 4 channels.
Work production decreases significantly this week in the corporate world.
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of people. Well, this is probably other than college football, and college football really it's a small playoff considered to what basketball is.
Yeah.
All right, but basketball. This is pretty. Just think of the money.
Probably the biggest sporting event there is, right?
That's what I was going to say. Just think of the money that's made this in the next couple of weeks with basketball. You
talk about betting? People talk about betting?
Money spent on taxes at motels and eating and whatever.
Oh, by the way.
It's all over the place.
By the way, if you make any money betting, you got to turn it in.
Yeah, I heard that.
And did you know if you steal something,
you got to turn it in? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Here I am.
Wait a minute, this is a sports show, not a political show.
Well, I mean, I just want to say.
I told my wife that today. I said, listen, if we steal a car and we sell it, makes money, we got to turn it in.
But if you turn it in, then you don't have to claim it. Only the damage that you did. Crazy.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Sure. And you know what? There'll be some idiots turn some of that stuff.
There'll be idiots.
That's exactly. That's why I said idiots right off the bat. But right now going on, other than this going on, we got high school basketball going on, and we talked last Wednesday about Jody Wright at Fulton. I read a piece on him this week that Fulton High School has been to the state basketball tournament 26 times in the school's history. 20 of those times, Coach Wright's taken Fulton Falcons to Murfreesboro or wherever it was played.
Wow. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. He's taken them there, and he's taken them 20 different trips. And I just say, wow, amazing. What a career Coach Wright's had, and he's really had some really good teams. And I know he won yesterday, and he'll tip it up tomorrow afternoon, I think, at 4:30 against MLK. And we'll see if he can advance and move on for a state championship.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Let's go Class 1A. Class 1A, Chattanooga Prep lost, or they beat Fayetteville, and then Hampton beat Humboldt, and Middleton beat East Robertson. So University School of Jackson and McKenzie play. They'll play. They're playing right now as we speak. Hampton, another big, strong East Tennessee team that's there a lot. Right. I've got Hamilton and Middleton playing, and Middleton winning the championship in Class Single A.
Could be.
2A, I've got Alcoa playing Douglas for the championship, and because it's East Tennessee, I've got Alcoa.
Listen, where's Douglas from? I've never heard of that school. Do you know?
No, it's a new one, probably out in Middle Tennessee, where they're building them like crazy.
They are, aren't they?
They're building them like crazy. 3A, I've got Fulton and Haywood playing, and I've got Fulton bringing home another gold ball, and it'll be 21 for Mr.
I guess this is 21st career.
I mean, it'll be his 21st.
Yeah, and this will be, if he breaks another gold ball, this will be his 4th.
Well, Jody's, he's a, and not only is Jody a great coach, Jody's just a great guy.
Hey, he's a good guy,
He's just a good guy. Very down to humble, down to earth.
Yeah, he is.
And thank goodness, I think one of his most important positions is being on that state board. I mean, there are people that don't think like most people.
Nope. Especially when it comes to football.
So Jody sort of gives that a good balance, and he's been on that for a long time.
Been on that for a pretty good while. He sure has.
4A, I've got this, and boy, this will be a good one here. There'll be some running and shooting and gunning in these games now. I've got Memphis Overton and Independence playing, and just because of our old football coach friend here in Oak Ridge, who's not Scott.
Talking about Scott Blade?
Scott Blade, he's at Independence with football, but he'll probably give him a good locker room talk, so I'm going with Independence.
I don't know much about either one of them, so
I don't either, but
I'm with you.
And Brentwood Academy beat Webb to get in the championship game with Briarcast, and they won. So they're in that one. So Brentwood Academy just never goes away, do they? Doesn't matter where you put them, what division or anything
it
else.
Don't matter.
They just
you
don't go away.
There's certain schools you always talk about. You know that? Always.
Now I'll tell you what we're going to do tonight.
Tell me.
You got to fax your bracket in tonight now, and before we go off the air, but I'm going to give $50. Give $50 to a winner that picks the national champion. The first one that comes in, but you got to get them in a hurry now. Get your bracket right.
Who are they faxing them to? Or can they email them? Or you got to be faxed?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out from Chandler what he wants them to do. Chandler, which is easier to do? Chandler said either one because it's going to cause him problems anyway. Okay, so we'll email them, Brad said, because a lot of folks don't have fax. That's a good point now. So email your brackets in before we go off the air tonight. And what we'll do is we'll be able to tell then the time that email came in and see who wins it. Now, how's that?
Sounds good to me. It's good to me. What you looking at me for?
Well, because you can't do one because you got too much knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. I do.
And I don't want to do.
Well, if I did, I'd win it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that.
I've already told me who you thought, and I've already said nah. We've already butted heads a little bit. Well, but I do like what you picked.
And I really didn't.
I do like what you picked so far, though. I do like it. Yeah, I do. And I could go with that Final Four group you said you had.
Okay, and in the Final Four, I've got Alabama, Marquette, Kansas, and Texas. And I've got some. Which 5-12 upset do you like the best? That's one that's probably the most popular one, right?
5-12 is
5-12.
Yes.
I've got Oral Roberts beating Duke.
Wow, you talk about an upset. That would be because a lot of people are talking Duke in the Final Four.
Only because they're hot right now. They come through that ACC tournament and they think they're hot. But
that's why, because they're playing.
And they could be. Tennessee could be.
Yeah, we talked about Tennessee too. Yeah, but they could. You're right. Duke's playing good basketball right now. Man, that would probably be a blessing for Tennessee.
Well, I've got Oral Roberts beating Tennessee.
You got Oral Roberts beating Tennessee? No, it's not.
Only because I hope Tennessee. If Tennessee's got a great bracket, if they can get past those couple games, because eventually they'd end up with they could have Kentucky, or they could have Marquette, or
what do you got? What do you got with What do you got up there with Arizona? You got Arizona and Princeton. What do you got? You got Arizona moving on?
I got Arizona moving on there.
What about Missouri and Utah? You got Missouri moving on?
Missouri moving on.
Missouri, I know Missouri has got Tennessee a couple times. But if you want to go back to your Final Four that you just said, and you want to talk about Texas and Kansas, Texas has beat Kansas the last 2 times.
Right.
And they beat them by a pretty good margin.
Well,
20-something each time, I think.
Another
almost.
team that I've got an asterisk by is Baylor.
Not playing real well now,
but they could.
But they could.
But they could.
That's why I think there's just not one team that you could say, this is the team. I think everybody is saying Alabama's the team right now.
But we've seen Alabama. And we know if Miller's not having a great offensive game, Alabama's suspect. He's the best freshman I've seen play in a long time.
I heard his coach trying to answer questions today about Miller, and he's got 2 bodyguards now.
2 bodyguards.
Yeah, apparently he's got so much heat over all the controversy that's surrounding him with the killing that went on and the gun.
Wow.
He's got some controversy there, and he's got to have some of the text or emails.
Kentucky. I've got Kentucky moving to play Marquette. That's one, but if they get hot,
they won't get past Marquette. Kentucky has not had.
No, I don't have them getting past Marquette, but I've got them playing Marquette.
Kentucky's just not been a very good basketball team. this year. It's because, though, I think what the deal is with them, it's no different what Tennessee's deal is right now. They don't really have any point guards. Their point guards have been hurt all year long, it seems like. They don't really have any ball handlers.
And if you look at Kansas, over the years, Arizona and Kansas have probably been two of the biggest suspect teams in the conference. Arizona was supposed to win them a long time. They'd lose in the first round. Kansas would lose in the first round, or they'd go all the way.
Well, Gonzaga is the same way. How many over the last 2 or 3 years? This is, and was it last year or year before one? Gonzaga was undefeated.
Yep. I went to.
They didn't win.
I've got Gonzaga playing UCLA to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, UCLA is another basketball team that's got an important player on their team. I don't know the guy's name. He's hurt. They've got one of their top players that's out right now too. So there's a lot of injuries. Houston, another team that a lot of people's talking about that could have a chance at winning it. They've got a guy that got hurt early on before they played Memphis in the finals of that conference. He got hurt. He didn't get to play in the final championship. He's a key clog to their team. So there's some teams that's limping into this thing a little bit, sort of like Tennessee. I don't know if they limped in it or got drug in it, but they didn't walk into it because, just like I told you last week, I was shocked they won the one game they did. I figured they'd be one and done, just like they probably will be. They could be tomorrow night, one and done.
Well, I think they'll be okay tomorrow night. But
I hope you're right.
So who's your Cinderella team? Who's the team that nobody thinks is going? We have one every year or two.
Got to think about that.
You remember that Shaka at Marquette now. Remember when he was at VCU?
Yep. Took Marquette. I don't know if you would consider Marquette a Cinderella team.
No, I'm just saying, but he's coaching there now. He came from VCU, but that's how he got there.
He's a team that could be Jamie Dixon's team. Is it Texas? Is it Texas?
Xavier's another team that could get hot. They played Marquette.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you my underdog team. I'll tell you here as soon as I find them. I have to tell you the exact name of them. It's Jamie Dixon's team. I believe it's Texas Tech. Are they in here? Is it Texas Tech or Texas? TCU?
Texas Tech isn't here, I don't think.
It's TCU.
I've got TCU.
TCU plays the winner of Arizona State and Nevada,
I've got Gonzaga beating TCU.
Now I think TCU got their best player back about 2 weeks ago, and have been playing pretty good basketball down there. Okay. I'm gonna go Texas Tech coming out of the West is one.
Texas Christian,
TCU. And then I'm going to go out of the Midwest. I'm going to go with Xavier.
I've got Xavier.
I know, man. You just talked about that. Out of the South, I'm going to go with. As a sleeper, I'm going to go with. There's not really. I'm going to go with Charleston.
Charleston.
Yep.
Well, a couple years ago, they made a big run.
And I'm going to go with, out of the East, I'm going to go with, I just had them here myself. I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic. 31-3. I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic. But I'm going to go with the team to win it all, and I'm going to say, as I do every year, I'm going to say it's going to be Kansas.
Well,
repeat.
That's who I've got. I've got Kansas. I've got Alabama. Alabama and the Marquette playing in the Final Four in Texas and Kansas, and Kansas. This is a fun time of the year. Everybody doing what we're doing, getting your brackets out.
If you love basketball,
great time.
This is great time.
We probably need to take a break, don't we?
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes here on the Locker Room Chat.
As soon as I walked in the door and saw just the ambiance of the place, I thought, wow. I said, this is really nice. Everyone is just great with all of the residents.
I call this the Alexander House of Angels.
This is an example of one of our rooms. This is considered a large studio. We do have 4 different size rooms. They all have their own private bathrooms. They all have a small kitchenette.
I always tell residents that they feed us wisdom. I feel like
that's a big special part of working in assisted living.
And it's a big family here. Everyone is very nice.
Look out for each other.
They do. She's made a lot of friends. It's been that from day one.
Yeah, it has. I love our building, our people, but I tell you, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Daniel Forrester has been recognized as one of East Tennessee's leading attorneys for nearly 2 decades. Civil disputes, criminal defense, divorces, and juvenile custody cases are all part of an impressive resume. Daniel's legal experience also includes representing clients in local, state, and federal courts. A husband and a father, Daniel is a Rule 31 certified mediator who has represented hundreds of families in Chancery Court. Call Daniel Forrester Law Office at 865-457-7900 for a free consultation.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. Good to be with you this evening. If anybody's got any questions, wants to call us 483-8112. Call and I'll see if I can answer them. He won't be able to, but I'll try. We'll try to get them answered.
You're probably right.
We might have to holler in the back and get Brad or Chandler to answer them, but we'll get them answered.
High school baseball and softball.
Yeah, I was listening tonight right before I left the house, heard the coach talk about the last 2 games. He said it's been pretty cold, but it is cold outside right now.
It's cold.
So I think he said he's got Coalfield tomorrow night, I think, down at Oak Ridge, here in Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
And
now we've got some scores, Chandler.
Here we go.
Ooh, Anderson. 14-2. Oak Ridge put a whooping on them.
I seen some highlights of that before I came down tonight. Oak Ridge did put a pretty good thumping on them up there the other night. That's at Anderson County, and they'd played Anderson County at home the day before.
Kingston with the big win over Lenoir City.
Harriman 2-1 over Wattsburg. Midway 9-1 over Sunbright.
Wow.
Tellico Plains gets
Tellico Plains beats Coalfield? Wow, that has to be an upset.
Yep. Lake Creek Christian over Powell and Greenback over Rockwood.
Greenback over Rockwood. Wow. You know, I can remember back when I was up in Greenback, had just started baseball back. They had, bless their hearts, they had to go pick rocks up out of the infield, because they hadn't played in so long.
Had to get them picked up.
But that's a good score. Look at these softball scores here now. Wow. Okay, yeah. Oliver Springs with another good boy, they always come up with a good softball program in Oliver Springs.
I always do.
And Harriman's had a good run on girls softball here in the last couple of years. So, okay. So we got some good scores coming in there. So
got some scores.
Oak Ridge and Cocoa game will be broadcasted on the Oak Ridge Prep Radio YouTube channel.
On the YouTube channel tomorrow? Okay. Said Oak Ridge Coalfield game be on the prep channel on YouTube tomorrow for Oak Ridge. So, yeah, they got a prep channel They put a lot of live stuff on, so you can catch that game tomorrow.
Anderson County's had a good baseball program over the years, hasn't they?
Last couple of years have been down a little bit, maybe, but yes, they have had in the past. Yes, they have had some good baseball
That's
programs.
an excellent facility. Up there, too.
They're up on top of the hills. The coach was talking about the wind blows harder up there. He said on top of the mountain, but it's up. You know how you drive back up there when we come around for football. Yeah, it's back up there on top of the bank behind the press box. They got a nice place up there too. So. Yes.
Okay.
I guess one of the premier programs around here has been Pigeon Forge in the last 3 or 4 years.
They've sent a bunch to the UT.
The coach there, and I don't know if he's still there or not, was the coach at Anderson County for a little while, and then he went to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, they've sent
UT
name, 5 or 6 players, a couple of pitchers that are up there now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now let's cover, what do you think about the Orange and White spring game charging $5? Why would you?
Well, what's free anymore, though?
Well, but I'm just saying, man, that's supposed to be a time when every kid in Knox County and surrounding county, if they want to come to watch a ball game, you get them in and you get the players down there, and that's what it's all about. It's not about.
I was going to echo just what you did. I'm going to echo what you would have you just said. I'll be saying the same thing. And they was talking. I seen an article that was talking about underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
This might be the only time they actually get to go see a college football team, and especially one in their hometown, being
Let them in the stadium. Never seen the stadium.
Never seen the stadium.
Wow. Yeah.
It'll be a lifetime experience for them, and it's $5. I don't know. It's times that hard at Tennessee that we got to take We got to get $5 to do whatever we're going to do.
I would hope not.
But it appears that it is.
I just thought that was sort of a hit on the baseball team over there is doing well. They're scoring a bunch of runs.
Well, they are, but everybody really ragged on them at first when they, come out of those first 3 games. They were 1-2.
Yeah.
Everybody says there's trouble at Tennessee. There's trouble.
There is. They're going to be hard to beat. They've probably got the premier pitcher in the country on Friday night opening up. So,
they are going to be hard to beat. That's the trouble.
You probably won't lose many Friday night series games because he's the real deal. Because if they lose on Friday night, that team has seen the best you got.
I ain't got a good pitching staff, and it seems like he has a pretty good coaching staff. Period. They seem like they really advanced their players on right now.
I think his big deal now is going to be, you load up on these. Because after he made that little swing to Arizona, you really haven't. Well, he played Gonzaga, but I'm not sure Gonzaga is the same in baseball as they are in basketball. But I think he hasn't loaded up on a lot of pre-conference biggies, so that we'll find out when you start hitting the SEC what you got, and a lot of that's probably due to weather and stuff.
I don't think they play away from Tennessee till they start the SEC schedule. I think all those games are home. There's no traveling until the SEC.
And because and a lot of that's you don't know about the weather this time of year, so you can't afford to have somebody travel long distance and then have a game rained out or cold or whatever. So, and I think that's really what makes him a premier coach. Tennessee isn't a baseball weather school. In the SEC or any conference. If you're going to play baseball, you want to play baseball where it's warm. That's why Mississippi State's always had a good program. LSU's had a good program. Florida's had a good program. Arizona
out that way.
So he's that. To me, that really speaks volumes for him because he doesn't have he and recruiting wise, you can't say, son, come to Tennessee and you're gonna have some really good weather.
He's been able to do something though that everybody else over there's not been able to do, Ron. He's been able to keep some local kids in Knoxville.
He has.
He's been able to keep the Farragut kids, or he's been able to go up the road like he's talking Pigeon Forge, get those kids up there. Yeah. He's been able to get some really good baseball players that's in his back door. Yeah. He's got those kids to come to Knoxville or stay in Knoxville and play ball for him, where football and it's just like the Miller kid, whether you like him right now or not. Man, it's a Tennessee kid.
Yeah.
He's from Antioch.
Yeah.
And
Miller?
Yeah. He'll be the number 1 college player taken in this year's NBA draft. He'll be the first college player taken.
Well, Mount Juliet had a kid too.
He's from Antioch. I mean, he is from Antioch, and we didn't. I didn't even know he was from Antioch till this to the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
But here's a kid that's right in Tennessee's back door, basically, and he goes to Alabama. How is that possible? You just want. I know all the kids don't want to go to. They want to go play some. Go off and do their thing.
That was before the portal, right? Dickey. That's who I was thinking about, and his grandfather was from Harriman. You probably played softball against him. Yeah, you probably played softball against him.
Who was it?
Dickey was Barney.
Barney Dickey.
Barney Dickey.
Man, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, you probably played.
I probably did.
He played in the Phillies organization for a while and came back and was in the banking business. And that's his grandson, and they live in Mount Juliet. And I think he's probably one of the premier hitters on the team.
Yeah,
thanks for helping me out there, brother.
He's been on a roll here recently.
Yeah. So,
he's been
but
pretty good.
I think all in all, if
I think that's the
Othello
difference.
can come in here and win here with he didn't have a very good stadium when he started, so that's changed. He can't do anything about the weather. That's going to be
you don't
forever.
have no control over
So if
that.
you can win here and recruit here based on everything, I know they bumped his salary up, but I'm not sure. I mean, how many millions does it take? How many millions does it take to be?
So if you was tenant, let me roll back just a minute and not answer your question that you're asking about men's. You're right. How many zeros do you have to put to men? I don't know about that. I don't know how many zeros it takes. I'm wondering if we've not got all these coaches' salaries way out of whack. I'm glad they're able to get it if they can get it. But really, let's just be honest. Does it take $10 million? Is a football coach worth $10 million?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think a basketball coach is worth $10 million?
I don't think a basketball coach is worth $5 million.
Do you think a baseball coach is worth $10 million?
No, especially
girls basketball, girls softball.
No.
So my theory to you, though, would be if we're going to remodel this place, if we're going to remodel over here at Tennessee, why not let's build a dome? Let's put baseball inside. Then it doesn't matter what the weather is in Knoxville.
No,
then you can recruit those kids.
But
make it where it can open.
That's not baseball, though.
Yeah, make it the roof open.
Yeah, but that's
retractable.
I mean, I think probably one of the only Division I baseball teams is Minnesota that plays in a dome. Most of those teams don't even play in domes.
I don't even think they play in a dome. No, Minnesota's got an outdoor place now, I think.
I mean, on the campus.
On the campus might be, yes. Well, do you think, let me just flip it on you here right quick. Do you think Tennessee will play, once the Smokies move downtown, that they'll move some of their games and play downtown?
No.
Or you don't think they'll play there?
I don't. But two reasons. Number one, it's not your home field. And number two, I think what you'll see with the Smokies is you'll see a lot of other venues.
Well, wait a minute. Tennessee goes to Smoky Stadium right now and plays a game.
Well, they play a game. But what I'm saying is, though, you don't want that to be your home stadium. Plus the fact that I think what that stadium will end up doing, there'll be a lot of venues playing there. I mean, they've already said, that there's going to be concerts and a lot of things going on.
Tennessee's surface might be better than what the Smokies will be.
It may be. It may be. But I just think, I think when you can walk out of your newly renovated locker room onto the field, there's just something about that. I mean, there's probably half of the conference baseball teams that have a stadium they could play in, but they choose on campus.
Well, it's just there's something about it.
Something about it.
You don't.
I mean, that's like Vanderbilt. Well, that's not a good analogy, but I mean, that's like Vanderbilt not going to Titan Stadium and play. It's not home field. Of course, it'd be even worse if they played in the bigger stadium because it'd be more empty seats. But anyway, I think that's. And
so
if you look at the new stadium, if you look at what they're doing at renovating Lindsey Nelson Stadium, it's going to be state of the art. It's going to be an experience. It's going to be a nice venue to go to.
You can't get a ticket.
No,
you can't get a ticket
well,
over there.
and that'll help some because there'll be more seating. There'll be more seatings, and part of it is you stand out in that left field area out there, see, and eat and drink, and so you don't even have a seat.
Yeah, they've made that a
so it's a fun. It's a fun place. It's a fun place.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying, but if you want to talk about the weather, you can dome it and You might not have to worry about it. But I say baseball is meant to be played outside. It's an outside sport. It's just like, I think it's just like football. I think football's meant to be played outside in the cold weather. In the
Rain,
cold weather.
snow, whatever it is.
Football, I want to go to football here in just a minute, but I want to talk NFL with you. We'll talk here in just a minute. But I'll go to that after we finish up with Tennessee. But you're talking about money. So if there's not a coach, it's not worth the $10 million or whatever we're paying our coaches now. Should there be a standard salary that a head coach with this many years' experience is paid $1 million or $2 million, or is there a limit that should be paid to football coaches and basketball and
I'm surprised
and baseball coaches?
I'm surprised that the college presidents haven't gotten together and said, "Okay, look,
enough's
guys,
enough."
We're getting ridiculous. I've got a head surgeon over here at the hospital, that's coming up with all kinds of saving lives. I've got a research man over here that's working on eliminating cancer, and they're making $2 million a year. Now come on, we got to get together on this, and derive something. How much revenue are they bringing in? I mean, how many winning games do you have to have a year before you're going to bring in X number of millions to the university? There's a value other than just winning games that coach is bringing. Is it a fun experience? Do you have a good product? And I think you go from there. But I think if every president has to do it, or if you've got one that's that's slipping through the cracks on you. But Saban's not worth $10 million. Or Krzyzewski wasn't worth $10 million. They were worth some money now. But again, I would ask you, and here's the other thing, David. How much do you think out-of-pocket expense any of the head coaches at UT spend? Go buy their clothes. What do you think they charge them for their clothes?
Oh, we got somebody giving
nothing.
Nothing. Five cars.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll use this analogy. Butch Jones gets fired, and the next morning, and if you and I get fired, Marcia, you're going to have to cut back now. Your food bills are going to have to come down 40%. We may have to sell one of the cars. Blah blah blah. Honey, call down at the country club and tell them to send us the bill now. UT's not going to pay for it anymore. They're going to come and pick the cars up tomorrow, so you're going to have to go buy you a car. The bank's probably going to start charging us interest on our loan now, which they haven't been doing. It's crazy.
To get everything free.
Everything's free.
So when the kids are eating at campus, they're probably eating right there with them.
How much you think it cost Butch Jones and that? At one time Catholic had about 6 coaches' kids playing out there?
Yeah, they had a bunch.
Now, how much are they paying for that tuition?
Probably
What's it worth to say that we've the offensive coordinator from Tennessee Sun's playing quarterback at Catholic? I mean, that's what's always baffled me is they don't spend any money.
That's the draw.
They don't spend any money.
Yeah, that's the draw.
But if they all would do it, I think we'd be a whole lot better off with the whole shooting match, because it's. I mean, how many times we've seen it right here. Butch Jones, Pruitt.
Pruitt didn't get away with as much as he could.
No, but what I'm saying is, but we extend their contract.
Yeah, we did that here. We did that with Heupel, and I almost thought, man, could this be a one-hit wonder?
Well, but
so he's got to.
But they did it with them, and they hadn't even won anything.
He's got to do. Yeah, that's what I mean. They did it, but they did it with Heupel, and he was good for 1 year. Shouldn't we have to be good for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, maybe if you sign, let's say, I'm sure when Heupel signed, he signed a 4-year contract. Okay.
Okay.
So I look extending his contract in year
2.
I was going to say
because the only problem with it is if you wait the 3rd year, then the recruit doesn't know whether he's coming back or not, and that's what the extensions are all about. Recruiting.
But I really think the way the recruits are today, it really don't matter what you do with the coach, because if the recruit decides, if you get rid of me as your coach,
right,
and I can opt out,
now you can,
and I move on.
Now you can.
I move on. I go. The coach is going over here. I'm going over here with him.
So maybe what you do there is the same thing as we're doing on salaries. Maybe you come up with a standard contract that says after year 3 we will evaluate and move on from there. Extend your contract 2 years or 1 year or whatever we want to do.
So the coach at South Carolina brought some kids with him. The coach at Missouri brought some kids with him. The coach at LSU, the McMahon, he brought some kids with him. They all brought kids with them. They came with them.
Sure.
So it really don't matter if the coach goes to X, Y,
which is different.
Z.
That puts a whole different perspective out there, doesn't it?
It does. That's what I'm saying. NIL money and all that.
Did you see where Colorado sold 30,000 tickets to their spring game? Free. Gave them away, 30,000. And they said last year we didn't have but 2,000.
It's the only game that's going to be on ESPN.
Is that right?
The only game on the major network that'll be on is Colorado.
I don't know how he'll do, but he's taking them by storm
well,
right now.
If I'd say he's going to recruit very well, but it'd just be if he could stay on the straight and narrow with the NCAA.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the guy that was,
Will they be watching him?
Oh, what do you think? You talking about the guy that went, that got fired at LSU, the basketball coach? Was it Will Wade? Is that right?
Yeah, Will Wade.
He goes to McNeese State, and they hire him as head basketball coach. And McNeese State's already suspended him for 5 games because there's some NCAA
Illegal
stuff from LSU, and they're trying to ward it off, maybe that they won't put a bigger punishment on him. So
he didn't get a no-show. He didn't get a no-club.
Not yet, anyway, but they suspended him the first 5 games. So here's a guy that's already suspended. It's already been in some trouble. But he's at a new job, and they've already had to suspend him for 5 games. And they've given him a salary of $1 point. I forgot. It's either 1.8 or 1.5 million.
What's his name at Colorado?
Talking about Dion?
Dion. He brought his son with him, so I mean, and a wide receiver with him. So he's got basically his offense. And that's going to change the game. That's the other part that's changing the game is this portal.
Well, the portal has changed the game.
But it's
I think that's something that Tennessee basketball have to do next year is to get in the portal to get some players in there because of what they're losing. I mean, they got some kids that's going to be there, and they've got a really good recruit. A couple really good recruits.
Stop and think
they're going to have
now.
some kids.
Tennessee, you got it. Vanderbilt, Missouri, South Carolina, which stung you this year, but typically South Carolina. So you got Florida that's down now. So it's really you and Georgia in the East, right?
You talking about football, right? Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
That's what you got.
They're saying the coach at Florida, they don't know if he'll make it all year next year or not without getting fired. So it doesn't seem like a smart hire to me. But I'm not a football.
The portal depends on that. Look what Kiffin did with the portal. I mean, he turned Mississippi around in 1 year. LSU, look what Kelly did.
Now they're all complaining. Now the SEC coaches are all complaining. I shouldn't say they're all. There's a few not. But they're complaining about having to play a 9-game SEC schedule. They want an 8-game schedule instead of a 9-game
I think Stanky's put the word out on that, though, hasn't he?
Yeah,
we're playing 9 games,
We're
guys.
playing 9 games.
And you'll have three rival games, and then you'll play the rest of the league.
The best statement that I've heard from a football coach, whether you like him or not, is Brian Kelly at LSU. He said, I came here to win football games, and I came here to play the best every Saturday. So I'll play the 9 games. I want to play the best.
He can say that. Let's look at who he's got.
I mean, who's Tennessee's 3 record going to be? Alabama, Georgia, and Vandy?
Yes.
Or Kentucky?
No, I think Vandy. And maybe South Carolina. Maybe it's South Carolina.
And let's see, is it somebody else, one of the big schools is complaining about who their 3's going to be? I don't know if it's Georgia or Alabama.
And the thing that
Auburn's complaining. One of them's complaining.
Well, the thing that I despise about even the schedule now is, we play Texas A&M once every 7 years. Guys, that's the best venue that I've ever been to. And so you're going to go once every 14 years because you're going to play them back, switch around. So that's what you're missing is and that's what all of this is all about is fans getting to travel to all of these different venues, historic venues and stuff, and that's probably the best one I've ever been. I
think all Texas and Oklahoma is going to do is knock the bottom tier teams like Vanderbilt, and
send them a little farther south.
Tennessee's close to being in this group that I'm fixing to talk about, like Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Missouri.
What do you mean they're about to be in that group?
Well, Tennessee's pretty close down there. When you start thinking about what they've been over the last 4 or 5 years, football-wise,
you keep looking in the rearview mirror, though.
We're pretty good. We're pretty close to saying we're in the cellar of the conference.
No. I don't think you
we're
can
down
say
there.
no,
And
you can't
we're
say
down
that.
there. Well, I just said it.
I know you did, but I
just said it when you're
I hope
talking
Chandler
about.
put you on pause when you said
you're
that.
talking about Alabama and Georgia, and you're going to bring Texas and Oklahoma in, and that's 2 more on top. You get
but Texas
down
and Oklahoma are.
So we're going to be compared now. Tennessee and Kentucky are on the same level.
No.
What do you think?
No.
That's what it's going to be.
I think you're Tennessee and Georgia.
So Tennessee
and Georgia are on the same.
Tennessee's schedule is going to be Kentucky and South Carolina and Mississippi and Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. They're going to have the top tier teams play each other and the bottom tier play each other.
No. I think what you'll see is okay, for instance, Butch couldn't get it done when Florida was down, when Georgia was down. Remember when Georgia was down? We still couldn't. He won 7 games, and that was a big year.
So you think Heupel can get it done?
I think Heupel was going to get it done. I think he got it done.
So you don't think he's
take the South Carolina game away last year? Take that South Carolina, and there's still something. Banks almost. When they were interviewing him at the combine, he almost gave him a little insight was what was going on, but he didn't really come out and say it. Something. If that doesn't happen,
well, I think the fight started because he wanted a BMW that he didn't get that Hooker got.
Well,
I don't know whether that's true or not.
All I'm saying is
they said Hooker's driving a BMW and he didn't get one.
If that South Carolina game doesn't happen, I mean you're talking big time. You may be in the 4.
Yeah, maybe.
But how long has it been since we ever thought we could even be classified as the 4th?
I don't know. Philip Farmer took us so far down the ditch. It's not fun. Hey, we'll be right back just a minute. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
As soon as I walked in the door and saw just the ambiance of the place, I thought, wow. I said, this is really nice. Everyone is just great with all of the residents.
I call this the Alexander House of Angels.
This is an example of one of our rooms. This is considered a large studio. We do have 4 different size rooms. They all have their own private bathrooms. They all have a small kitchenette.
I always tell residents that they feed us wisdom. I feel like that's a big special part of working in assisted living.
And it's a big family here. Everyone is very nice.
Look out for each other.
They do. She's made a lot of friends. It's been that from day one.
Yeah, it has. I love our building, our people, but I tell you, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Daniel Forrester has been recognized as one of East Tennessee's leading attorneys for nearly 2 decades. Civil disputes, criminal defense, divorces, and juvenile custody cases are all part of an impressive resume. Daniel's legal experience also includes representing clients in local, state, and federal courts. A husband and a father, Daniel is a Rule 31 certified mediator who has represented hundreds of families in Chancery Court. Call Daniel Forrester Law Office at 865-457-7900 for a free consultation.
The life of every child is precious. If you care for a child or teenager with a disability and have limited income and resources, they may qualify for monthly cash payments through the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI-Kids to learn more. That's ssa.gov/SSI-Kids. Message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Welcome back to the locker room chat. All right, I was going to ask you.
Well, you got bailed out with that. I'm glad Chandler took us to a break. Woo!
How did I get bailed out?
Son, you're just getting ready to fall in the pit.
How did I get bailed out? I didn't get bailed out on
Chandler
nothing.
saved you. Oh, Chandler.
You didn't say we need to go to commercial break. We went to commercial break.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to bring it right on back, and I'll continue right on where I was at.
No, we need.
If you're Froggy, jump.
No, we need to go to
that's
something
what I
else.
thought.
You've
We
already,
don't talk NFL football very much, but I know you claim to be. You lived up in Green Bay at one time or something. You said.
Wait a minute, claim to be?
That's what you claim.
1501 Oneida Street.
I don't know where you lived. I really don't care.
Well, I mean, I just told you.
But you're a Green Bay Packer fan, I assume.
Okay.
What about the deal with Aaron Rodgers? What do you think? What's going on? They've told him to hit the road, Jack.
I think he needs to go to the Jets and everybody get on with their lives. But he's wanting to take our boy from Alcoa with him.
You want to take a bunch with him?
Yeah, but I mean he wants to take his receiver with him.
He's a different cookie. He's just a different cookie, man.
And what's he done the last 3 years to even warrant this?
He won one MVP a couple years ago now, so let's hold up here a minute. He has, they gave up on him. He won 2 MVPs.
But he's caused more trouble. He's caused more trouble. Yeah. Yeah, he's caused more trouble than anything. I listened to him today on the podcast that he was on with I can't think of the guy's name. Used to be an NFL kicker. McAfee. I listened to him today, and apparently he was told at the end of the season, a week afterwards, hey, take your time. Wherever you decide, take your time. So he goes off and goes on his little retreat of darkness. As he says, I don't know why anybody want to go in a dark room for 5 days and stay. I guess I don't buy that. Don't see it, so I don't understand it. He comes out of it. He ain't had no phone during this time frame, and apparently all this has changed. They don't want him, and now they said we hope when he retires he'll retire as a Green Bay Packer. So they've pretty much. But isn't it strange that you've got a new general manager at the Titans? Titans need a quarterback, and I don't know if that's ever been mentioned, has it? That he would come to the Titans. The Jets are about the only team that I've.
Jets is the only team.
That's yeah.
Yeah, he said if he plays, he will be playing for the Jets.
And and the Jets now, defensively they shored up defense last year. So who knows if they get them, if they get Cobb and a couple of good receivers to go with him, they could.
They've already signed one of the guys he asked to be signed. They've already signed him. They've got him inked already, and they're working on a couple more. So it looks like they're going to get him. But is he now? You know what he was scheduled to make this year? Now come on, this is just all right. $50 million.
$50 million.
$50 million. $50 million.
And he didn't pay for anything either.
No.
So But now let's go back. Why do you always have to bring Phil Fulmer's name into conversations talking about Tennessee
because he's a hero of yours.
Well, I mean,
you've probably got a picture of him in your office somewhere.
2 or 3. But why do you bring that up?
It's just needs
you
to be
always
brought
go
up.
back to Phil Fulmer.
Huh?
That's history.
Well, he run it in the ditch.
Run it in the ditch?
Yeah, that's what I said. He run it in the ditch. He put it in the ditch. Do we have to reminisce again this week?
Well,
or can we just not go forward for 2023?
I just understand you always have to bring up Philip Fulmer.
I'll never forget. I might have been sitting over there and you sitting there. I don't remember. But all you had to preach about is how happy you were that Fulmer had all of his recruits
coming in this summer.
And they were all on campus. They were all here and going to summer school, and this was it. And when it was all said and done, I don't think but one of them graduated, and 3 of them went to jail probably. And it was, and I mean, that's all you had to say. It's looking, man, they're all in summer school. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. So do you want to reminisce some more? Because I don't forget that.
That was a good year, though.
It was a good year. None of them wound up finishing. It was a good year. That
was 98, wasn't it?
I don't care when it was.
Well, it was the national championship.
It was after the championship. Farmers recruiting went zoom, and you went zoom with him.
What was the game that cost him his job?
Wow, that's a good question.
Wyoming?
Maybe.
Was it Wyoming?
No, Wyoming was the game after they said he was going
okay.
Because they lost it.
Okay, lost it the week before. Okay.
Didn't they lose? Didn't he lose to Kentucky that year? Didn't they lose to Kentucky at Kentucky?
No. Butch Jones
Butch Jones did.
Or he was the first one to lose to Kentucky.
And Vandy too, maybe in the same year. Yeah. That's why we'll be playing that at. They're going to have an upper echelon.
Yeah, because he lost what? He lost 2 years to Vanderbilt, and then Pruitt lost a year, right, to Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So we're going to have the upper echelon and the bottom. Well, we're in the bottom.
No, we're not. No, we're not in the bottom. No, you can't.
We'll see after this year.
No, you can't say that.
We'll see after this year.
You can't. Oh, I mean, look at the stable over there.
What stable?
Well, it's full. You got a 5-star quarterback that can't get on the field.
Oh.
$8 million man.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I'm just saying it's.
So you think the quarterback Milton right now will go all year and be the quarterback?
Well, unless he gets hurt.
Unless
he gets hurt.
If he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be the quarterback all year long.
He'll be the quarterback.
I would be willing to bet you some money that he's not.
Well, why did you say that?
I just don't think he can take them to the shed. I don't think he can put the cows up.
Oh man. And he's got 3 wide receivers coming in the portal, so he's gonna replenish wide receivers. What's the kid's name? Chicken or the
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
I gotta go. I'm going home early tonight. Chicken. Yeah. Golly, you just make your stuff up. You can't come on live.
A great game though. He had a great. He finished strong.
Oh Lord have mercy.
He finished strong.
Chicken. Golly. Read up next week before you come in here and be right.
No, I'll have.
Oh yeah, bring some others.
I'll have.
He meets me over there tonight, Brad. I'm sitting over there while the coach is finishing up over there, and there he comes out. He's got his iPad and he's got papers and pencils. I think, man, he's ready to go. I'm trying to fill out a bracket. He said, I'm trying to fill out a bracket. He ain't a bit more filled out a bracket than nothing.
Well, at least I filled my own. Now you didn't. I didn't have old Feinbaum. You sit and watch him all day. You sit and watch him all day.
I ain't watched Feinbaum 2 or 3 weeks.
And all these podcasts. How many podcasts you watch today?
I watch a few.
Yes, mine's
coming
from right here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So Richard,
that's how you get a little information. Country ham.
I can't believe that.
Golly.
Have we got any emails, Chandler? Oh, okay.
No emails.
That's good.
But that's $50 you didn't have anyway.
That's good.
That's what you kept looking at me for.
No,
said if I was going to say I go half.
I was hoping you were going to say something when she walked in.
Oh. She's over. You're going to get us. You want to come take my place? You can sit beside him for a little while. I swear it'll be okay. I promise you it will be. He is a hard man to deal with, I tell you. I don't know why I put up with this, but I do, for some reason. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I forgot to.
You forgot to what?
More about the pickleball?
Pickleball.
Oh man, that's getting better every week.
Anybody else get hurt this week?
Well, yeah. I tweaked my ankle a little bit. But you got to go all out.
Oh, yeah, let's go all out.
I mean, they say this is for seniors, man. You can't be for you.
Yeah, it's for seniors.
If you're going to cross the paint, you do what?
You going to play.
You got to win.
You got to win. Oh, yeah, I've never done that. Not to win.
That's what I'm saying.
Stay out of the kitchen.
But you got to stay out of the kitchen. That's right. Huh? You got to stay out of the kitchen. So.
He's got you playing pickleball? Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna come watch y'all play then.
Well,
and
you need to.
Brad just might bring the camera like we did. Fell over. Oh man, we're gonna have to quit doing this. I'm telling you, this is gonna be the end of us right here. Brad, he just got hurt talking about pickleball.
Right.
He's about to get hurt over it.
That happens a lot. I mean, you know, we
5 minutes of pickleball.
We get a lot going on, but it's a great sport. And I want to thank folks in Harriman for letting us come up there, and they opened the fellowship hall. They opened the community center up for us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and we're thankful for that.
So you playing inside?
Oh yeah.
You don't go outside because it's
Well,
cold
we will
right
when
now.
it's when it
warms
warms up. Yeah, they're fixing to put an outdoor court in. There's one in Kingston. Rockwood's fixing to put one outside, so it's huge. It's
we just
big.
put one in Clinton. They just put one at
It's big,
one
right?
Tennis court.
Big,
Yeah.
big.
Oh yeah. It is big. Yeah, it's big. You're right. It's
They're playing for $100,000 tournaments.
Yeah.
And Brady's bought a pickleball team. A couple other athletes have bought pickleball teams now. I'm telling you.
It is a hot sport right now.
Barney says it's huge. It's huge.
It's huge. It is. It's huge. It is huge. So it is. I agree with you. It is. It is huge. So this time next week we come back. Baseball being a little bit better swing than what it is right now. Maybe the weather will change. So we talk about it all the time. But the weather.
Can you imagine umpiring
right
now?
What 2 weeks ago we're talking in the 70s and 80s. Yep. This week we're in the 20s. So that's how baseball goes.
Can you imagine umpiring and getting hit? I got hit right here a night like this with a foul ball.
It hurts.
Oh my gosh! You know you don't want to rub it. You got to be tough.
You got to be tough.
Next strike.
But don't move your hand and arm.
Strike.
Get to the car and put some salve on it.
Catcher turned around and said, "You okay?" I said, "Shut up, man.
Just
play."
Just play. Shut
okay,
up.
New rules. Hey, like baseball.
Well,
pitch count.
Like I said, I'm good with it. I think it'll speed the game up. I seen a game. Let's see. Well, I was flipping through the channels. Might have been last night, just on the Major League Baseball channel, and it's the first time I'd really noticed the bases.
Right.
Man, the bases are
Huge.
pretty good size.
Huge.
They're pretty good size. I'd like to know what I think I know what the reason is, but I'd like to know what the.
What do you think the reasons are?
I think it's a safety thing too. It's to keep from wiping the second baseman out. That's what I think. It'll be easier to steal a bag.
That's what they're looking for.
It'll be easier to steal.
That's what
to
they're
keep
looking
the first
for.
baseman. They shouldn't cut down on the plays at first base.
They're only allowed 2 throws over.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for.
Cut
is the offense.
Yeah, they're looking for the
they're
offense.
looking to, how many more attempts will they be trying to get stolen bases?
No shift.
Right.
Can't have the shift no more. Got the
and
pitch clock.
I don't know. I agree with that. Now, we
Got the pitch
had a
clock.
shift back when we were playing in middle school.
Yeah, you did.
You know,
but
when you didn't have enough kids playing, you had to hit it to the other side.
Right.
You know,
but you didn't have it the way they had become to have it. Where
well,
you just
no,
took
but I'm just saying. But
everybody-
you had to learn to hit. That's
Yeah,
what you had to do.
Well, kids don't know how
and
to
they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't play ball like you used to play ball.
No, they don't do that anymore. But they're looking for the offense is what they're looking for, and
if it cuts the time of the game down, then people probably will come back because the experience will be a little bit better. You don't want to go, 3 hours, 4 hours to a baseball game.
And you
That's
stop
a
and
long
think how many times on a stolen base at second that you really couldn't tell initially. You had to go to the camera to see if he was out or safe. Now you're going to be safe because that bag's coming to you, that much more.
The bag's huge.
So that's what they're looking for.
That's a huge bag. So anyway, we'll see what
will
those
you
rules
will you
do.
be talking to Jody? We need to tell Jody we got him picked to win it.
I'll probably text him after his game tomorrow night.
Okay. That's a huge
If
one.
he wins that game tomorrow night, I'll text him tomorrow night.
In fact, I think the winner of that game probably is the state champion.
So we'll see.
But give him my regards and tell him
I
we're
will.
with him.
I'll try to text him tomorrow night.
And
talk to him.
I want you to promise me something now.
I'll try
Next week you won't mention Phil Fulmer's name.
I'm not going to promise that.
Oh man, come on, man! Give the man a break.
I'm not promising
Give
that.
the man a break.
He's
Only
been
national championship in years.
He's been a failure 2 ways at Tennessee.
How's that?
As a football coach and as athletic director. Hey, catch us here.
John Adams is all over him all the time.
Yeah, he is. Catch us here next week for the locker room chat. He'll be back. I'll be back. And we'll be back next week here on the locker room chat.
Here's to you.
We'll see you next week. Get out and support your local high schools, baseball, softball. We'll see you next week.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the